Hello everybody, jimmyispromo here, back again with another awesome video, and today we're going to talk about the basics for the Samsung Gear S3. So if you just purchased and got yourself the Gear S3 Frontier or the Gear S3 Classic, or maybe if you've had it for a couple months and you just want to learn a little bit more and everything that's important for the Gear S3, then this is a perfect video for you. Now sitting right in front of me here, this is the Gear S3 Classic. This is the one that has the metal watch face, and it'll also work the exact same as if you were to get the Gear S3 Frontier. Now the only differences really is going to be the body. So this one here you can see is metal, so it looks more like a classic looking watch, and then this one is the Frontier. So this one you can almost think a little, for somebody who's a little bit more active, who goes over into the gym and then they don't want to have a leather strap. Because originally on my Gear S3 Classic right here, this used to be a leather strap, but I switched it out for the Samsung little silicone rubberish looking band because I do go to the gym all the time. So it's really nice that both of these watches come with a 22mm pin structure, so you can put any strap on there that is 22mm. So if you have a really nice watch at home that maybe has metal links, you're able to switch it out. So you just move this little pin, you pull it out, do the exact same thing for the very top, and then you're able to replace back in any other watch band. Now heading back over into the basics, really both of them here is going to have the rotating bezel. So this is the fast and easy way that you're able to scroll between different screens, or you can scroll up and down. So if you wanted to check out the weather, you can see when I rotated it, it did start to go down. It's the same thing if you're going to text messages, you'd be able to either rotate this to go left and right, or you can rotate it to go up and down. And then on the very top, this button on the very top is going to be the back button. And then on the bottom, it's going to be the power and the home. So if you, let's say, move over into an application, so let's say we go into settings and then we go into watch faces and styles, you've seen that I went into a couple different screens. Now if I hit this back button, it only goes back one screen. Now let's say if I hit the very bottom button, now it'll take me all the way back over into the home. The other thing that I noticed that's different between these two here, between this one being a normal metal body that is going to be a black color, and then this is the chrome colored, is that these buttons here are a little bit more flat and long, while this one over here on the Classic is going to be that classic big little knob that you press on in. Now this base is magnetized, so once you place your watch onto there, it's going to just magnetize and sit on the inside of there on the base, and this is how you're able to charge it, but you do want to plug in your normal micro USB. So speaking about the back button and the home/power, is that this home button, when you press it one time, it does act as a home button. It'll also take you over into, if you're on your main home screen here of a watch face, when you hit your home button, it will take you over into all your different applications, so you can scroll through all the applications extremely quick. Or what you'd be able to do is you can actually just press and hold on that power button, and then that is how you can do all your different power and gear options. So you can also change your touch sensitivity, and then you can also power it off. Now I mentioned that just because on the very top, this one's only stated to be the back button, but you can also press and hold on this one to open up your Samsung Pay if you would like to use Samsung Pay on the watch. I also mentioned this because on this very bottom button here, the home and power, if you were to double press, it can open up a fast application for you. So there is a setting through the settings that you're able to change what happens when you double press the home/power button and what it will do. So for me, a lot of times my phone is just anywhere and everywhere around the house, and if I wanted to find it extremely fast, I'd be able to hit on start. It's able to ring my phone. And there she is, I've already found it. So now what happens when you're rotating the bezel? So if you move over to the very left-hand side, this will be all your different notifications. So you can either clear all the notifications, or you can even swipe up and it'll get rid of the notifications. Now, if you also want to change how your notifications is coming through, if you don't have any notifications, that's the first thing that you're going to see here, and you can head over into the settings to change the different notification settings, which we will go over that here in just a little bit. Outside of that, if you're to move on over to the right-hand side, this is where all your applications will be. Now, if there's any of these applications that you don't want to have on your main home, main little widgets, I guess we can say, then what you're able to do is you'd be able to press and hold. So this one right here, I guess I don't need this one. If you were just to press and hold on that little widget there, this is how you can either get rid of them, or if you would like to move them around, press and hold, and then you can actually rotate it along with the watch, and then you'd be able to see exactly where it's going to be. So if there's one that you use, more often than not, so if I was to move over this way, you can see that the very first one I do when I move over to the right is my music. Now, let's say that this isn't the one that I want to use instantly once I move it to the right. Maybe I want to go into my applications. Now, this one is going to be second, in all my different applications and settings is going to be the first one that shows up on the right hand side. Now, if your watch just looks a little different than this, it's only because I installed the latest update on the Samsung Gear S3, and I did that just a few days ago. It was probably right around December 1st or December 2nd of 2017, and that's probably why yours could look a little different than mine. Now, a little tip and trick for this one might be a little hidden for some of you guys, is when you press and hold on your little watch time or little watch face there, if you're to move over and you kind of rotate your bezel pretty fast to the left-hand side, because what happens is, let's say that I press and hold, and as I'm going through all these different watch faces, I go over here, but there's nothing left over here because I keep on rotating to left. Well, if you rotate it quicker, like this, it's going to be able to make it to where you can see more of them in one shot. So you can see 4 of them all in one shot. Now, if you're already in this one that shows all 4, rotate it again really fast, and now you're able to check out things a little bit faster and pick something really quick. Now, you also have the option over here that says Galaxy Apps. That just is a way that you'd be able to go into your phone and download more watch faces. Another little helpful tip is that if you are looking at your watch and you're finished looking at it, if you just cover the front face and you place your palm on the top of the screen, it will actually turn off the screen for you, or the little display, so you don't use your battery. So if you're moving over here, you checked everything out, you put your palm on the very top, now it is turned off without you having to rotate your wrist. So what happens when you were to swipe up or swipe down on any of the screens? So this right here is the normal main home screen, because this is my watch face. If you're to swipe on down, this is your quick settings. So you can turn on all these different power savers, the airplane mode. You can also change the ringer type if you want it to vibrate or ring, or however you want it to sound. So if anybody was to give you a little text message, now you're able to change it if it has a sound or just strictly the vibrate. Usually I have mine set up on vibration. Here's also the do not disturb. You have your settings. Here's your play button for the music, display, and everything else. So you can also change all of these if you would like to. So let's move over and how you'd be able to change the watch faces on the Gear S3. So if you were to press and hold on the Gear watch right here on any of these watch faces, here is how you'd be able to change which layout or which clock face or watch face you would like to use. Now, the other thing about it too is that on some of them you will not see that little stylize button. All it is it's a way that you'd be able to stylize or customize the way that everything looks for your watch face. So as example, let's say we go over here to this blue pop. This is one that I was originally using, and we move over into customize. So you can see there's 2 little dots on the very top, and if I was to move left and right, you can see that it's moving between the dialer and then also my little steps. Now, when you're inside of here, this is where you change and rotate your bezel on how you would like it to look. So this one is kind of the white color, and this one is the dark color. Now, if I move over here, this is how I can change what is shown right there. So right now it is steps. If I was to keep moving it on over, it's going to change what you can see right there in the very middle. Now, because this one doesn't really make a huge difference in terms of the camera, what I'll do is I'll move over to one that makes a little bit more changes. So we're going to move over into that urban classic look. So we're going to change into this one, and this is what it looks like as of this moment in time. Now, if we're to press and hold, click on that little customize, then now this is where you can choose if you what is your dialing going to look like, what is the color, and then this is if you want your calendar and everything else. So here's what the dial can change to. You can change how it all looks as you move it around. Once you're finished, you swipe it over. Now you're able to change the different colors of the little second hand here. So if we want it to be a reddish looking color, and then over here, this is how we can change it. If we want it to be like world clock or calendar, this is gonna be the S health. And so you can really go through anything and everything, or if you want it to be none. So I'm gonna move it right back over into calendar. And now this is what our watch is gonna look like. So it's really nice that you have the opportunity to change all these different watch faces directly onto the watch itself. This one here is the My Photo Plus, and then this is where it's really nice and handy if you're to move content over into the watch, such as music and photos, so you can easily change between which photos you want to look at and check out. This is where you can change the color of the time and what type of random weird effects, which when you have a My Photo, you don't really want to have a My effect on there just because it kind of makes things look a little different. So now let's move over and see exactly what all the different applications look like. So if you want to hit your little home button right here, you'd be able to do that to go over into your applications, or it just depends on wherever you put your little widget. And that's really what this is all these watch faces here. They're all basically little widgets, shortcuts to do what you would normally want to do. So if you have the newest update, you'd be able to choose what is your favorite things you want to go into. It's your main 6, and it's going to keep it as the menu button in the very middle. Now, the very first thing you're going to see is the recent applications. You can go over into messages. It's a quick way that you can send messages back and forth, which I can probably put that into the video in the future for a little bit more intermediate and expert type of video. and then your phone, which the two that I have here are ones that are Bluetooth only. I do not have the 4G connected Gear S3. So let's head over into Samsung Health, and when you do move your little dialing pad over into the one you want to look at, then you want to click in the very middle, and this is going to show all the different S Health stuff that you were doing. And you just want to make sure you go to the very bottom and you go over into your settings. You just want to put in your profile of, if you're a male or female, how tall you are, how much you weigh, and everything else, and some of the other goals that you're looking for. You can check out the weather. You can go into your settings of the watch. I do want to say that the music player is pretty fun, because on this one here you can see that there is a little watch icon right there. This is going to play the music that is on the watch, and then you just go underneath here to change the volume of the sound that you're running to. So you don't even have to have a headset or a phone with you. If you have the Gear S3, just move your MP3s over into your watch, then you're able to go run and you have music already. Now if you hit over on that icon one more time, now it's going to show the phone and it's going to play the music that's on your phone. So if you are at the gym already, and if you're already listening to your phone right over here, what'll happen is you can control your music player on the phone just through your watch. So you don't have to take the phone out of your pocket. So if you're doing pretty much almost any type of workout, look at your watch, change the song, turn it up, do whatever you need to, hit pause, and you're doing everything from the watch itself. Now, if you don't want to use this little bezel right here to rotate through everything, you can also use your finger to swipe it left and right much quicker to go to the very front or last page. Now, one of the cool things I am going to show off in the future is this Dex Presenter. So there's actually an app you can download on your Gear S3 that is able to control a PowerPoint if your phone is connected to the Samsung Dex, which I do have that. It's super fun and I love it, and I've done one presentation so far while using only my watch to change the little PowerPoint slides. Now there's one last thing I wanted to add, and so you can kind of see that the time has changed. I wanted to come back downstairs and make sure I added this into the video, which is showing you if you're connected or not connected to your watch. So as of right now, you can see that 12 is 100% perfectly visible, which means that it is connected via Bluetooth. Now, if you are connected to a Wi-Fi signal, then on the very left-hand side over here, on the left side of that little battery icon, it's going to show you're connected to Wi-Fi. So I just turned off the Bluetooth of my watch. You can see there that there was a little small icon, which is showing that it was remotely connected right there, right where that 12 is at. And then since it's disconnected, this thing automatically connected to my Wi-Fi signal. And then now this thing is back being connected, but not through the cell phone, through Bluetooth. All right, so we've gone pretty much over every single thing I wanted to show you with this watch over here, with kind of how you're able to move the bezel to go through all the different screens. You can even, if you wanted to, use your finger, but you're blocking some of the screen as you're kind of rotating. So it's a way that you'd be able to read anything and everything. You can do a whole bunch of different settings. You can change your watch faces, do a whole bunch of things with this watch itself. But the most important thing that I do want to show you guys is the application that is being used as a companion to the watch. Now, you do want to make sure that you go in and you download the Gear Manager or the Samsung Gear application for you to get your watch working instantly. So you might go over into your Samsung folder and you open up Samsung Gear. Now, if you do not have the Samsung Gear application, just go to the Play Store, type in Samsung Gear, find it, download it, and that is how you set up your phone to your watch. Now there's two different tabs on the application. You'll have info and you're also going to have settings. Now when you go over into your info, this is how you'll be able to see how much battery life you have, how much storage you've used, and everything else. Now let's move over into the settings, because this is how you can change pretty much all the different settings that's on your watch. And usually a lot of times you can get things done faster through this application than going through the watch itself. So if you go to the watch faces, now you're able to go inside of there and you can change what you want to use. So let's say that we want to go on back over into that blue pop, which is one that I've used before. When you hit on this little application over here, it's going to change it instantly over there. Now, if you go over into something that's customizable, now as of right now, it's not going to move over and change it white up until I do the option up here that says save. Now it's going to show white on the very on the watch over here on the left hand side. So I'm going to move it back over into this one, and then what do you want to have as your communication or a little complication? So do you want to have it as the barometer, the world clock, your steps? Do you want it to show floors? Maybe you want to have music right there. So if I move it back over into black, I hit save. Now this one's going to be over here. This little widget is going to be music. So now I can head right over here and I can hit play, and it's going to control the music that's either on the watch or on the phone, whichever one was set up last. So this is a quick demonstration to show you that you'd be able to change, your watch face and everything else. On the very top right hand side, you can go up here and you can go into your watch face order. So if you want to change the face order that you go through all your different settings over here. So if I was to be on my watch, I could change the order that they show up if you wanted to. Now let's move over into notifications, because this one's pretty important, because some people only buy this watch because of the notifications. They don't really care about all the bells and whistles, but they want to know if somebody's calling them or texting them. But there's a couple things here that's pretty important as well. So here you can only show while wearing the gear. So if you want your watch to only show while you're wearing the gear, then you select this option. If it is not even on you, it's not even going to show on the watch. And then this one here, it says show while using the phone. Now this one's kind of funny, because I've had somebody mention, hey, I just got a text message and I don't think my watch is paired, because as you can see, it did not show up on the watch. Well, it was because this setting right here was turned off, because obviously if you're looking at your phone, you just notice you already got your notification, you already have your main form of communication. Now you'd be able to check it out and get back to them. But if you want your notifications to show on the watch as you're still even using the phone, this is the one that you'd want to turn on. And then right here is how you can manage the notifications. Okay, so what notifications, what applications do you want to show notifications for? So if you don't want to have this random calculator one, MobiZen, Minesweeper, you don't need to have all of them selected, which is the beauty of it. And so if you only wanted to have your maybe phone calls and text messages, that's perfectly good to go too. Everything else you can actually have off if you want. You can turn on the screen, so that means that when you get a notifications, it'll turn on the screen. You're also going to have the auto show details if you want to see all the details. If you don't want to show all the details, then you can turn it off. Here's a notification indicator. Smart relay, so if you look at your watch and then you pick up your phone instantly, it'll show it on your phone if you would want it to. And then now underneath the applications, this is where you can choose which applications is going to have all the different battery info, how much is taking more life. But you also have the options here for settings, where you can choose, what area of your contacts do you want to show onto your watch. So anything stored on the phone will also show up onto the watch. Or if you also want it to show anything from your Gmail, which most people probably choose Gmail, then you'd be able to have all your contacts show up on the watch that way as well. And then on the very top right hand side, you have your options for more options. You can uninstall things, you can reorder them, and then you can also download and check out your download history. So here is where you'll be able to transfer the content to the gear. So before I talked about music and also pictures, you can also auto sync these things if you wanted to, but I prefer to have these off because you don't want to take up all the storage of your watch. You only want to have on there technically really what you want. So this is where you can choose select the tracks, so you can choose what songs you want to have over onto the watch. So once you choose those ones, then you're just going to hit on done and it'll send it over. It uses a signal, not Bluetooth, but it uses the Wi-Fi Direct. Wi-Fi Direct is basically Bluetooth on steroids. It's extremely fast. You don't need to be connected in any way sort of possible. You're not connecting to a Wi-Fi signal. It creates its own Wi-Fi signal and pairs it with the phone and the watch itself. It's the same service that works when you use the Samsung Smart Switch. It uses the Wi-Fi Direct because it's super fast. And again, your phone does not have to be connected any way sort of possible in order for Wi-Fi Direct to work. Here is where you'd be able to send the SOS requests. So if you would like to turn it on, then you're able to send SOS to any of your main 4 contacts by hitting your home button 3 times. So I just shot a YouTube video talking about sending SOS messages with the phone here, where if you press and hold, or if you press the power button 3 times, it'll send your location as well as a SOS letting people know, hey, you're in trouble. So this one's going to be pretty nice. If you don't want to have it on your phone, you can definitely have it on your watch to send a SOS to your main 4 contacts, maybe either before or after you call 911 if needed. This one's a pretty helpful one here. You can find the gear. So if you don't know where your watch is at, then you'll be able to hit and search for finding the gear. And it also works vice versa. So I already found the watch, that's perfect. You can also make it go from this watch over here over into the phone if you wanted to notify and figure out exactly where your phone is at. And just also to clarify a little bit here, somebody might want to ask this question or they might write a comment below the video. You can actually control and you can even find it remotely as well. So as long as this one right over here is connected to a Wi-Fi signal, because it does not have 4G LTE or anything, as long as it's connected to a Wi-Fi signal, you'll be able to find it through here through Google Maps. you'd be able to find it and track it down. Or it'll go to the very last location that it was connected to any type of a service or a network. Here's where you can check out your gear connection, so you can turn on or off, maybe your Wi-Fi, the remote connection if you don't want to try to find this thing in the future. If you do have one that's probably connected with LTE or 4G, there might be some options down here for you as well. And then quick messages is a good thing to actually put on there if you want to from the very get-go, because maybe there's something that you say all the time and you don't really want to go through the watch to just type it all out, either through the bezel or typing on the screen. So you can add in over here and you can just say like, I love you too. And then anytime somebody says I love you, or hope you're having a great day, or just really anything in general, if this is a comment or something you say all the time, you'd be able to now choose this one because now it's stored over onto the watch. So this was the majority of the basics of the Gear S3, and I believe that some of the stuff I'll do in the future, I'm going to talk about how you can do a presentation with your watch with the Samsung Dex. I'm also going to probably go through the music just a little bit more in depth. I'm also going to go through the Samsung Health a little bit more in depth, and then also possibly the Samsung Galaxy apps more in depth on the very next video that I make for the Samsung Gear S3. Now, if there's more things that you guys want to learn about on the Gear S3 and you're curious about, then make sure you guys write your comments below. You can also tweet me at jimmyispromo. You can find me on Facebook or anything else as well. Everything that I have for Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook is all jimmyispromo. And then you guys will be able to reach out to me so I can make more videos that relates to you guys even more well than as of right now. So I hope you guys have liked this video. Make sure you guys give this thing a huge thumbs up. Also go below the video, click on subscribe, or you can go right over here, hit that little red circle over there. You hit subscribe that way as well. Share this video with your friends and family and all your social medias. And outside of that, I'll see you guys later.